When I left the hospital after having my baby, I thought breastfeeding would come naturally, but it didn't, and I almost gave up on breastfeeding. But after doing these things I'm going to tell you guys in this video, I went from zero, nothing, to more than enough. Yeah, more than enough breast milk. So stick with me and I'll tell you guys exactly what I did to achieve this. Let's get right into the video. Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys the 3 tips I use to increase my milk supply after having my baby. Yes, when I had my baby, I had no milk at all, like zero milk. I couldn't even get colostrum out. But after doing these things I'm going to tell you guys in this video, you are also going to be able to move from zero breast milk to a freezer starch of breast milk. Let's get right into it. So let me give you guys a little background. Okay, when I had my baby, in fact before I had my baby, I was trying to get a colostrum. Nothing was coming out. I did everything, and they said, well, for first time moms, don't worry about it and things like that, that when you have your baby you will have milk. And then I had my baby and still there was nothing. Tried in the hospital, we had the lactation consultants come in the hospital, yet they were not able to help me out on that first day. So I went home without milk. I had to give my baby formula. And then 2 days after having my baby, I woke up with an engorged breast. Like my breast was so full and painful. And I was like, wow, okay, maybe this is the milk, everyone talks about. And then I tried pumping, there was nothing coming out. I tried giving my baby, she just was crying and crying, there was nothing coming out. And it was such a frustrating moment for me. So what did I do? I read a lot, different Instagram videos, people were just, pouring their milk, showing their freezer, things like that. And I was getting even more depressed, as I watched those videos. I was determined to find out what those people were doing to make their milk come out so well. I was, really, really determined. I remember going to see the first doctor I saw. That was the public health that I saw a day after having my baby, and she was like, oh, what's the problem? I explained it to her and I told her everything, and then she gave me a nipple shield. And once you use this nipple shield, baby, try to get something out. And then I used the nipple shield, and yeah, it was beginning to work little by little, but it didn't flow. Basically, it was just drops here and there. I still continued giving my baby formula because I wouldn't want my baby to starve because I couldn't produce the milk, which was, very frustrating because I felt it's something that's supposed to happen naturally. So one of the first things I did was to go under the shower to stop the engorgement. I went under the shower and then I just let warm water pour on me. I stood under the shower and I was just letting the warm water. The water has to be really, really almost hot, like, hot on, not too hot that you can't stand it, but like hot enough that you can stand it. Yeah. So I just allowed that, just pour on my breast, staying like this, just letting the water pour on me. And I felt a bit of relief. And then I noticed the clothes I wore afterwards, the dress had, milk. Would I call it milk? Yeah, I think it's milk. Like, it was getting wet. So I was like, okay, maybe, even though it's not flowing, okay, maybe that's a sign that, something is happening. And I tried putting my baby was biting me. It was so bad. I think my baby's sock was so bad and it was even making the matters worse. There's no milk coming out and yet my nipple is cracking. So it was just so many things happening at the same time. Well, let me tell you guys the exact time, things started to change. First of all, I used a nipple cream ointment which I was prescribed by a nurse. She prescribed it for me to use for the cracks that I was beginning to have, because as at 5 days in, I was beginning to have cracks. By 10 days my nipple was looking like a mess. It's looking like a mess. So I was prescribed an ointment to use, not just the regular nipple cream, but like a nipple ointment. And if you're in this position, just ask your doctor, ask your nurse to prescribe you a nipple cream, not just the one they sell on Amazon, but like a prescription. That one works very well. So this is just help, to the healing process, to help to state, not immediately, but like little by little, you begin to get relief from the nipple crack. Okay, let me tell you guys the 3 things that I did to start seeing very good results. The first thing I did was to see a lactation consultant. Yes, don't feel like, oh, what's this? No, I saw a specialist, someone that specialized in all things concerning breastfeeding and feeding a baby. I had to see a lactation consultant, and one of the first things I was told to do was to change my pump. So I had to move from just a portable pump to a Spectra, which is an hospital grade pump. Yeah, I had to move from a portable pump to a Spectra, and that helped a lot because the first time I used the Spectra, it was not still bringing so much results, but I noticed that, oh, okay, this is better than the other one I was using. I don't want to mention the brand. It's a very good brand, wonderful. One of the other things the lactation consultant did was to teach me how to latch, how to put my baby to the breast, latch my baby to the breast. I was taught positioning, and that really went a long way. I did that consultation with the lactation consultant for about 6 weeks. Yes, it was more than a month, like almost 2 months. I was going to see the lactation consultant every week, and then I began to see very positive results. And the consultant also prescribed something else that I think helped me a lot, which is what my second tip, which is what Moringa pills. Moringa pills helped me a lot. Like the first time I took it, I didn't really see any changes. I was like, well, I can't really feel anything. But by the second day of using the Moringa, I felt the heaviness. I was like, yes, milk has come. The milk started coming, and I was able to feed my baby better than before. So Moringa pills is something I'm going to recommend to you guys. The pills, I didn't take the tea, I took the pills, and it worked for me very well. And then the third thing I did, which also helped me very well, was to stick to a pumping schedule. I actually was pumping a lot in the beginning. Oh my goodness, I was pumping. I was sticking to a pumping schedule of pumping every 3 hours, even in the midnight. It was a pump in the midnight. In the beginning, I just couldn't do it because I was alone here in Canada without help, just my husband to help. My husband has worked the next day, so I would have to take care of baby in the midnight and all, and then I was required to pump. Oh my goodness, I struggled with that for the first weeks. It was not easy waking up to pump in the middle of the night, but then I had to do that eventually. But in the beginning, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I was just pumping 4 to 6 times a day, just doing that over and over. And I started going from 10 ml to 20 to 30. The day I got 80 ml for both breasts, oh my goodness, I had to snap it and send to my husband at work that, oh my goodness, I got 80 from both breasts. So such a wonderful time that happened. If I get the picture of that, I'll put it up here so you guys will see. You'll see it. It was a wonderful moment for me to have achieved that. Now looking back, I can't believe the difference. I went from having nothing to actually feeding my baby and storing milk. Things began to get better from 2 months. So my baby was already 2 months. I think about 10 weeks. Yeah, when things really improved. And fun fact, guys, my baby stopped taking formula by herself. She just completely refused bottles when the breast started coming out very well. She didn't want to take bottles anymore, and I exclusively breastfed her from that 2 months up until 10 months. My daughter is 10 months at the time of this video. My daughter is 10 months and she is still breastfeeding. So if I can do it, you can do it too. Let me share an advice that I got from a friend that worked for me. In fact, once she shared this advice and I started doing this, I saw a huge improvement. I think she told me this advice on the 5th day. Yeah, and it helped me. It gave me a sort of mindset, especially when I was having nipple cracks and all that. It gave me a mindset that was able to, push me forward. She said, put baby to breast, not breast to baby. You don't carry your baby and then start putting the breast to the baby. No, you have to put baby to breast. You understand? And that advice really helped me. So if you're going through that difficulty, just remember this: put baby to breast, not breast to baby. I hope you remember that. So if you're watching this and you're struggling, if you clicked on this video because you're struggling, just know that it can get better, and it will get better. All you have to do is to follow the things that I said in this video, and to work out for you. You'll be able to store milk, you'll be able to have more than enough, and you won't have to worry about feeding your baby. If this video helped you in any way, please give it a like, subscribe. I need your support. Please subscribe to my channel. Please leave comments. Please just comment, tell me how it is for you in this time. And if you think I left anything out, or you think I'm wrong in a way, which I'm not, but if you have a contrary opinion, please let me know in the comments, and let's talk about it. Let's gist about it in the comments. You can count on me for exclusive motherhood tips and also exclusive Canada living content. So I'll see you guys in my next one. Thank you very much for watching.